The highway had been empty for almost an hour when Nora saw the child standing beside the road. Rain hammered the windshield hard enough to blur the world into streaks of gray. Her GPS had lost signal 20 miles back, and her phone battery sat at 2%. The child wore a yellow raincoat, small, motionless, facing the woods. Nora slowed instinctively. Jesus, the kid couldn't have been older than 7. No car nearby, no house lights, nothing but endless trees and wet asphalt. She pulled onto the shoulder. The child didn't react as she rolled down the passenger window. Hey, Nora called. Are you okay? Slowly. The child turned. A little girl, pale face, wet black hair plastered to her cheeks, and eyes so dark they almost looked hollow. My mother asked me to wait here, the girl said softly. Nora glanced up and down the road again. There's nobody here. Where is she? The girl lifted one tiny hand and pointed toward the woods. She went to get help. Every instinct told Nora not to get involved, but leaving a child alone out here in the middle of nowhere felt impossible. Okay, she sighed. Get in. I'll take you to the nearest gas station. The girl climbed into the back seat silently. The moment the door shut, the car temperature seemed to drop. Nora rubbed her arms. You got a name? No answer. She checked the rearview mirror. The girl sat perfectly still, staring forward. Drip, drip, drip. Water pooled beneath her shoes. Nora forced a smile. I'm Nora. Still nothing. The highway stretched endlessly ahead. Rain hissed against the tires. Then, the radio crackled alive. Static burst through the speakers. Nora jumped. Comma still missing after 3 days. A voice muttered through the interference. She reached to turn it off, but the station sharpened suddenly. Authorities continue searching for 6-year-old Ivy Turner, last seen wearing a yellow raincoat. Nora froze. In the mirror, the girl was staring directly at her now. Mother found deceased near Black Pine Road. Black Pine Road. Nora's eyes darted to the cracked street sign she had just passed. Black Pine Road. Her stomach tightened. Child remains missing. The radio dissolved back into static. Nora laughed nervously under her breath. Coincidence. Had to be. She looked into the rearview mirror again. The back seat was empty. Nora slammed the brakes. The car skidded sideways across the slick road before stopping. Her breathing became shallow. Hello. Nothing. Rain battered the roof. Then, a wet sound behind her. She turned slowly. The girl sat in the passenger seat now. Impossible. Nora screamed. The child's face was inches away. Up close. Her skin looked swollen and pale, like something pulled from deep water. You weren't supposed to stop, the girl whispered. The car died. Lights out. Engine silent. Only rain. Nora fumbled for the door handle, but it wouldn't move. Locked. The child tilted her head. My mother stopped too. Something moved outside the car. A figure emerging between the trees. Tall. Bent wrong. Dragging one leg through the mud. Nora's breath fogged the glasses. The figure limped closer. A woman. Or what used to be one. Her jaw hung unnaturally low. One eye dangled against her cheek. Mud and blood covered the remains of a white dress. The little girl smiled for the first time. She found help. The thing outside reached the driver's side window. Tap, tap, tap. Nora squeezed her eyes shut. This isn't real, she whispered. Tap, tap, tap. Then silence. Slowly, she opened her eyes. The woman was gone. The child was gone. The engine suddenly roared back to life. Lights on. Heat blasting normally. Nora gasped and threw the car into drive. She sped down the highway far above the speed limit, refusing to look in the mirrors. 10 minutes later, she found a gas station. Bright lights, people, safety. She stumbled inside shaking and told the clerk everything. The clerk listened without interrupting. Then his face slowly drained of color. He pointed toward the parking lot. Nora turned. Her car sat beneath the buzzing station lights, covered in mud, and across the fogged rear windshield, written in small handprints, were the words, "You left her again."